If you believe fate occasionally drinks on the job, hit subscribe before I confess how the Alpha King ruined my quiet barista life in under 30 seconds. I'm Mara Jameson, 30, divorced, mildly feral, holding my life together with caffeine and duct tape. The prophecy said he would claim a pure-hearted Luna. Everyone assumed that meant my sister, Lily, the 22-year-old golden girl who practically sparkles like a shampoo commercial. Raised to be perfect, untouched, a walking celestial chastity belt. Then the Alpha King stepped into the ritual circle. His wolf took one sniff of the crowd and lunged straight at me. "Mara Jameson," Cade Rowan growled, his eyes going molten silver. "Fate made a clerical error. You're mine." I blinked. "Return it," I said. "Take it back. I accept store credit." The gasps from the packs rattled the trees. My ex-husband choked on his own ego. My parents fainted culturally. Lily's perfect prophecy life went up in smoke. And that was the moment I knew. My quiet, invisible, problem-free barista existence was done for. The Alpha King didn't choose the Virgin Luna. He chose the divorced disaster with emotional scars and a punch card at trauma therapy. Lady Fate really said, "Plot twist, babes." I never planned to end up working at Moon Brew Coffee, the only cafe where half the menu is enchanted and the other half is overpriced. But after divorcing an alpha, escaping an alpha with the emotional range of uncooked rice, I needed two things: a job, a new identity not defined by marriage vows and pack politics. So yes, I hid in a coffee shop wearing an apron that said "Espresso yourself," while dodging the pitying looks from pack moms like I was a wounded deer. Most days, customers ignored me, exactly how I liked it. Today, however, the cafe buzzed with the kind of gossip that made wolves vibrate like faulty microwaves. "They say the Alpha King is arriving at sunset," whispered Mrs. Horowitz, age unknown, chaos optional, "to claim the Virgin Luna." I almost poured steamed milk directly into my eyeballs. "My sister," I muttered, because stating the obvious is my coping mechanism. Lily Jameson, 22, shiny like she was crafted in a skincare ad, raised by our parents specifically to fulfill a prophecy none of us understood, except for the part where she was supposed to be pure. Not to brag, but my purity expired 10 years ago behind the gym with a boy who smelled like spearmint gum. Mrs. Horowitz leaned in conspiratorially. "Are you going to the claiming ritual tonight?" "No," I said. "I have work, and laundry, and an aversion to watching my sister become Luna Queen Barbie." "You sure?" She smirked in a way that made me uneasy. "I'm sure tonight will be illuminating." Cryptic elders should be illegal. By sunset, the packs were gathering in the clearing behind the old church. Torches flickered, drums pounded. Wolves in formal attire tried to look majestic, despite the humidity making everyone frizz like electrocuted alpacas. I stood at the edge of the crowd, arms crossed, silently judging everyone. Lily stood in the center of the ritual circle wearing a white dress that screamed pure so loudly it hurt my feelings. My parents hovered beside her, glowing with pride and thinly veiled smugness. My mother saw me and whispered to my father, "At least she showed up. It's important to keep up appearances." And this, kids, is why therapy is expensive. Power hummed through the air as Alpha King Cade Rowan emerged from the forest, flanked by guards. He was annoyingly handsome, tall, broad-shouldered, carved from moonlight and bad decisions. His aura rolled through the clearing like a storm. Every wolf bowed, except me. I was busy picking at a loose thread on my sleeve. He stepped into the circle. The drums stopped. The wind stilled. The prophecy hung in the air like a held breath. Lily smiled sweetly, Cade's eyes unfocused, his nostrils flared, and then his wolf surged forward, snapping chains of control, dragging him violently toward me. He crossed the clearing in 3 strides, grabbed my wrist, and pulled me into the circle like I was the last life raft on a sinking ship. Gasps, screams. Someone dropped a casserole. His voice rumbled through me, ancient and absolute. You are mine. My soul hiccuped. My brain said, "No thanks, return to sender." Out loud, I said, "There's been a mistake. I'm divorced, emotionally damaged. My wolf cries whenever she sees a wedding cake." The Alpha King leaned in, his breath warm on my ear. "Then you're exactly what the prophecy promised." Lily burst into tears. My parents looked like they'd swallowed a lemon dipped in betrayal. My ex-husband, oh yes, he was there, looked like someone had kicked him in the self-esteem. And me? I wanted to crawl under a decorative tablecloth and die.
This was not supposed to be my life. I was the backup sister, the cautionary tale, the family's walking example of what not to become. But now, every eye was on me. Every whisper was about me. And the Alpha King's grip on my wrist said one terrifying thing. This was only the beginning. If you've never been claimed by an Alpha King in front of 2 entire packs, let me paint the picture. It's like someone proposed to you at a crowded mall food court after you loudly said you were swearing off dating forever, while your ex watched and your sister sobbed into her vegan lip gloss. In short, hell. Cade Rowan's hand stayed wrapped around my wrist, hot and unyielding, like he knew the exact moment I'd try to bolt. Spoiler, it was now. "Let go," I hissed under my breath, teeth clenched tight enough to crack ceramic. "No," he murmured, voice so deep it practically rattled my bones. "Your wolf is reacting. She knows." "She's reacting because you dragged me like a shoplifter," I snapped. Mara?" Lily's voice broke, thin and trembling. What are you doing? This is my prophecy." My parents flanked her like confused security guards. My mother shoved her pearls up her neck. "Mara, step outside the circle. Now. You're embarrassing the family." I wanted to laugh. Embarrassing the family? Lady, I've been doing that since birth. This is nothing new. Before I could respond, the seer stepped forward. The same elderly woman who loved to haunt my coffee breaks with riddles and decaf orders. Her eyes glowed pale gold. "Your Majesty, you are correct." The crowd froze. Someone choked on their gum. The seer's voice took on that echoing, possessed quality that means we're about to learn something traumatic. "The prophecy never declared a virgin," she said. Silence. A pin dropping would have sounded like a bomb. "What?" my father sputtered. "But the text clearly states, the word is not virgin," the seer corrected, raising a wrinkled hand. "The ancient rune means heart rebuilt from ashes, a soul that survived ruin, and still chooses love." A low, collective gasp rippled through the crowd. My ex-husband, standing stiffly near the beta line, went rigid. His eyes narrowed. He looked like a man watching his worst nightmare come to life. Me. Mara. The phoenix wolf he never realized he didn't destroy. He stepped forward, snarling, "That's impossible. Mara isn't—" Cade cut him off with a single deadly glance. "She is. I was married to her," my ex spat, more to the crowd than anyone. "She's not fit to be Luna. She's damaged."
There it was, the word he used to chain me for years. Damaged. It sliced through me. Heat surged in my chest. Not anger, not fear. Something deeper. Something ancient. For one terrifying second, I swore my heartbeat flickered into embers. Cade's grip tightened, steadying me. His voice dropped to a growl. "Say that again," he warned, "and I'll show you the definition of unfit." My ex blanched. Lily rushed between them. "This isn't fair," she cried, tears streaking down her flawless face. "I've been preparing for this my whole life. Mara doesn't even want it." Correct. I wanted a nap, preferably eternal. Cade shifted his attention to her, gentler but unwavering. "Fate doesn't require preparation," he told her. "It demands alignment." My sister blinked, stunned. No one had ever told Lily no, certainly not like that. My mother sputtered. "Your Majesty, if you would simply—" He raised a hand. Queen energy radiated from it. "Enough." Every wolf shut up instantly. Cade turned to me again, eyes burning like liquid silver. "Mara Jameson, your soul is the one the prophecy spoke of. I felt it the moment I entered the clearing." "And I felt my life falling apart like a Jenga tower," I muttered. He actually smiled. Barely. Like he wasn't supposed to find me amusing but couldn't help it. "Mara," he said softly, "I am claiming you, with or without the crowd's approval. But I will never force you. Say the word, and I'll delay the ritual." The crowd gasped. Delaying a claiming ritual was unheard of, forbidden even. And he offered it to me. Me. The barista in the back of the crowd. The divorced screw-up who couldn't even keep her wolf stable after heartbreak. I swallowed hard. Every instinct screamed at me to run. Every memory of my ex whispered that I'd never be enough. Every scar told me I was too broken. But my wolf lifted her head inside me, calm, certain. A single word echoed through my veins. Mine. Not his. Not my sister's prophecy. Not my parents' expectations. Not my ex's narrative. Mine. "I'm not saying yes," I told Cade. "I'm thinking about it." His smile sharpened, predatory, triumphant. "I can wait." The drums resumed, the torches flared, and the world shifted around me like the first inhale after drowning. The Alpha King had chosen me. The prophecy had been misread. And my ex-husband? He was already plotting.
Because as the final chance rose, I saw him slip into the shadows, phone in hand, sending a message I would soon regret. A message to rogues who wanted me dead. The morning after getting claimed by the Alpha King is exactly as fun as it sounds. By fun, I mean I woke up on my lumpy mattress, stared at my cracked ceiling, and seriously considered faking my own death and moving to a human retirement village in Florida. Instead, I dragged myself to work. Moonbrew coffee looked aggressively normal. String lights, chalkboard menu, a tip jar labeled Therapy Fund for baristas and broken wolves. My boss, Juno, a witch with purple hair and zero time for nonsense, was rearranging crystals near the espresso machine. She glanced up when I came in. "Morning. You're trending." I froze halfway into my apron. "What?" Juno slid her phone across the counter. Pack forums, group chats, grainy photos of Cade grabbing my wrist, my stunned face, Lily sobbing, my parents looking like someone peed in the punch bowl. My name in bold. Mara Jameson, the divorced Luna? Comments scrolled by. I heard she bewitched him. No,
I heard she's cursed. Maybe the seer is senile. Divorced wolves shouldn't be in prophecy circles anyway. My stomach flipped. Juno watched my expression. You good? Oh, majestic, I said. I love waking up to public character assassination before my first coffee. Really gets the blood pressure dancing. She snorted. Want me to hex anyone? Put a pin in that. The bell above the door chimed. I groaned internally. In walked Mrs. Horowitz. Of course. She beelined to the counter with the energy of a guided missile. There she is, the prophesied Luna with a tragic dating history. Morning, I said. We're out of decaf. You're out of deniability. She leaned in, eyes gleaming. So, the Alpha King. Is he good in person or just in the posters? He's tall, I said weakly. Broody. Has that moody, I carry the fate of the kingdom and also your heart vibe. She nodded approvingly. And your wolf? I hesitated. My wolf had been weird since last night. Restless. Hot, like embers under my skin. She keeps stretching, I admitted, like she's testing where my bones end. Mrs. Horowitz and Juno exchanged a look. What? I snapped. Don't give me the, uh-oh, your powers are awakening face. I already pay for utilities. I can't afford spontaneous combustion. Juno crossed her arms. You remember what the seer said? Heart rebuilt from ashes. That wasn't just poetry. Phoenix wolves are rare. Phoenix what now? Mrs. Horowitz smiled like a cat in a sunbeam. You, dear, are not just any Luna. You're part of an old blessing. Phoenix wolves rise from destruction. Pain doesn't break them, it upgrades them. Well, I said faintly, that's the worst software update I've ever heard of. She said blessing, Juno prompted. Try being a witch with seasonal allergies. You sneeze once and someone thinks you cursed their tomatoes. I rubbed my temples. Okay, let's say I believe this. What does a phoenix wolf actually do? Your pain, Mrs. Horowitz said softly, becomes fuel. You amplify courage, healing, truth in others. You burn away illusions. Burn. The word sat heavy in my chest. I thought about my marriage, the years I spent blaming myself, the gaslighting, the quiet, insidious erosion of my worth. If my wolf had been awake back then, would I have left sooner? Great, I muttered. So I'm a walking emotional bonfire. Juno tapped the counter. Hey, before you spiral. Oh, we're already spiraling, I said cheerfully. We passed the exit 10 miles back. Before you spiral, she repeated, glaring. You should know. Cade was here at 7 this morning. My heartbeat tripped. What? Came in, ordered black coffee, stood exactly there. She pointed to the spot in front of the espresso machine like it was hallowed ground. Said, and I quote, "Tell Mara I'll be back after she's had time to breathe." I stared. That jerk, I whispered. He gave me processing time. How dare he be emotionally responsible? By noon, the cafe was packed with wolves pretending they were here for pastries and not for a front row seat to my life imploding. Every time the bell chimed, my heart jumped. Not him. Not him. Until it was. Cade walked in like the room was built for him. Dark jeans, black shirt, leather jacket that probably cost more than my rent. His aura hit the cafe first, brushing over everyone like invisible static. Wolves straightened. A few bowed. He ignored them. His gaze found me behind the counter, with ridiculous, laser-focused intensity, like there weren't 40 other people in the room. Mara, he greeted quietly. Mr. Destiny Malfunction, I replied. Welcome to Moonbrew, where dreams come to die and espresso shots are extra. The corner of his mouth twitched. Black coffee. And you. Unfortunately, only one of those is on the menu.
Still, my hands moved on autopilot, making his drink. My wolf pressed against my skin, fascinated. When I handed him the cup, our fingers brushed. Heat shot through me.
This place suits you,
he said, glancing around.
You grounding others, watching, listening.
It's called hiding, I corrected. It's my superpower. He studied me, expression unreadable.
You survived something most wolves don't. You left an alpha who tried to break you.
My chest tightened. Stalking my file, Your Majesty?
Protecting my future, Luna,
he said simply.
Your ex-husband has been feeding information to rogue factions for months.
Ice slid down my spine. What kind of information?
Pack patrol routes, security gaps, names of vulnerable wolves.
His eyes hardened.
And last night, after the ritual, he sent something else. Your schedule.
I slammed my palm against the counter. Excuse me?
Time you open the cafe. Time you close.
His jaw clenched.
Time you walk home alone.
My blood ran cold. So I'm not just an embarrassing ex-wife anymore, I said shakily. I'm a target. He leaned closer, voice low and lethal.
You were always a target. He just didn't realize how valuable you were until fate chose you over him.
My laugh came out sharp. Would you forgive your mate for dragging you into prophecy chaos? Or would you burn everything down and start over? Out loud, I said, Don't worry. This is fine. I love finding out I'm on sale in the betrayal marketplace. Cade's eyes flashed.
You're not on sale. You're under my protection now. That means no more walking home alone. No more pretending you're invisible.
I swallowed. And if I liked being invisible?
Too late,
he said softly.
I see you.
My wolf melted like an idiot. Mine, she whispered. I ignored her. Fine, I sighed. What's your grand plan, O mighty king of terrible timing?
Simple,
he replied.
You're moving into my estate until we deal with the rogues and your ex.
I blinked. I have work, a lease, a plant named Derek.
Derek can visit,
Cade said, dead serious.
I can't guard you here.
My instinct screamed no. No more controlling males. No more being moved like a chess piece. But then the bell chimed again. 3 unfamiliar wolves walked in, smelling like pine, rust, and wrong. They scanned the cafe, and every survival instinct I had went very, very still. Cade didn't look at them. He just stepped closer to me, his aura flaring, possessive and warning.
Decide quickly, Mara,
he murmured.
Because the rogues, they've already decided about you.
The rogues who walked into Moonbrew did not order coffee. They didn't browse pastries. They didn't even pretend. They just stood there, staring at me with predator stillness, the kind of silence that made your skin know before your brain did. Juno froze mid-stir. Mrs. Horowitz dropped her muffin like a grenade. Cade didn't move. Not an inch. He didn't need to. His aura expanded. Slow, lethal. Wolf in full king mode until the air thickened. The hanging string lights flickered. Half the cafe subconsciously bent their necks. The rogues noticed. The tallest one stepped forward and sniffed the air.
Mara Jameson?
He asked, smiling like a man who'd found a coupon for murder. Nope, I said immediately. Never heard of her. Try next door. They sell smoothies. Cade's hand shot out and wrapped around my waist,
pulling me behind him so fast the world blurred. He growled, not the sexy, amused one. This one vibrated the floorboards. "Leave," he ordered. One word felt like an earthquake. The rogues exchanged glances. "Your Majesty," the tallest said with mock politeness, "we're simply here for information." Liar. Their eyes tracked me like prey. "You're trespassing," Cade murmured. "Last warning." The rogue smirked. "Or what? You'll start a war over a—" He didn't finish. Cade moved faster than I could blink, slamming him against the wall with a snarl so deep I felt it in my spleen. "You don't get to finish that sentence," Cade said, voice soft and terrifying. "Say one more disrespectful word about her. One breath. And I will rip your spine out through your throat." The cafe collectively decided breathing was optional. The rogue wheezed, but his eyes glinted with awful triumph. "Touchy," he rasped. "Didn't expect the king to fall for her." My stomach twisted. Her. I'd been reduced to a pronoun and an insult in one breath. Cade leaned in, dangerously close. "And I didn't expect rogues to be stupid enough to step into my territory 2 hours after a prophecy claiming." His claws slid out. The rogue flinched. "We'll leave," he spat. "Not like that, you won't." Cade shoved him toward the door. "Crawl." The rogue didn't crawl, but he stumbled badly enough that Cade seemed satisfied. They fled. The moment the door slammed shut, the cafe exploded with gasps and frantic whispering. Juno locked the door. Mrs. Horowitz fanned herself violently.
I just stood there, trying not to throw up. Cade turned to me, eyes softer but still bright with that frightening alpha glow. "You're done here," he said quietly. "No," I croaked automatically. "Yes." "Cade." He stepped closer, lowering his voice so only I could hear. "Mara, if they walked in here once, they'll walk in again, and next time, they won't come alone." My throat tightened. He was right. The rogues weren't here randomly. They didn't wander in for a latte. Someone sent them. Someone with my schedule, my patterns, my vulnerabilities. My ex-husband. My wolf growled inside me, something sharp and heated flickering beneath my ribs. Cade brushed a loose curl behind my ear, his fingers careful, almost reverent, which was illegal because my dignity was hanging on by dental floss. "I'm taking you home," he said. That's the trope where the girl dies. That's the trope where the girl refuses help and then dies. You, however, are coming with me. I scowled. "I'm not a possession." "No," he agreed. "You're a priority." My wolf swooned like a drama queen. I ignored her. Cade insisted on walking me home, despite the fact that walking with him turned the entire journey into a parade of gossip and shocked bystanders. At one point, a teenager whispered, "OMG, isn't she the divorced one?" To which I responded loudly, "Yes, and we've got merch coming soon." Cade choked back a laugh. When we reached my apartment building, a charming structure with the architectural integrity of wet cardboard, he stopped and assessed it like it had personally insulted him. "You live here," he said flatly. "Yes." "In this plywood box?" "Yes." "With no security?" "I have a deadbolt." "That's adorable." I glared. "Some of us don't have castles, Your Royal High Maintenance." His jaw ticked. "I'm not leaving you here." "You can't just—" "I can." His voice dropped. "I will." The heat in his tone made something in my stomach tighten. I hated that. I hated that I didn't want him to leave.
I need time, I said. I need space to process. You can have both. At my estate. Cade. Mara. His hand cupped my cheek gently, thumb brushing my jaw. This isn't about domination or territory. This is protection. You're marked now, not by choice, but by attention. If they come here, you won't survive long enough to argue with me. Harsh. True. Still, panic fluttered in my chest. Moving in with an alpha king? That was marriage adjacent, bond adjacent, trauma adjacent. He saw the fear. His expression softened painfully. I'm not your ex, he whispered. I don't take your choices. I safeguard them. Something in me cracked like old ice. Okay, I breathed. Temporary. He nodded. Temporary. A lie we both recognized. We didn't get the chance to finalize plans because as we reached my door, a shadow detached from the stairwell and stepped into the light. My ex-husband, looking smug, smelling like stress, eyes gleaming with cruel satisfaction. Mara, he said coldly, we need to talk. Cade stepped in front of me before I could breathe. No, he growled. You don't. My ex's smile widened. We'll see about that. His gaze flipped to me, a silent message. You have something I want, and I'm going to take it back. Behind my sternum, the phoenix heat flickered again. Brighter, hotter, hungry. This time, it wanted to burn. My ex-husband, Daniel Gray, stood at the bottom of my apartment stairs like a demon summoned by bad decisions and poor anger management. Cade's entire body went rigid, a silent, oh, absolutely not, vibrating off him. Daniel grinned like a man who believed he had leverage, which was funny because the last time we interacted, he threw divorce papers at me so hard they slid under the door. Mara, he said too casually, you've been avoiding my calls. Correct, I replied. I've also been avoiding tetanus, rabies, and overdraft fees. His nostrils flared. Cade shifted, placing himself between us with such dominance the porch railing actually creaked. You have 30 seconds, Cade said. Make them matter. Daniel's jaw ticked. This doesn't concern you, Your Majesty. You're breathing near my mate, Cade answered coolly. It concerns me. Oh, great. Mate. Publicly. My wolf preened. I nearly fainted. Daniel scoffed. She isn't your mate. She's my ex-wife. Cade tilted his head. She is neither your responsibility nor your possession. Funny, Daniel snapped, because she's been my responsibility for years, cleaning up after her, covering her emotional messes. You think you know her? She's unstable, fragile. Something in me snapped like dry tinder. I stepped out from behind Cade so fast he didn't have time to stop me. Say another word, I warned Daniel, and I will turn your kneecaps into cereal. Daniel blinked. Mara, don't be dramatic. Dramatic? I repeated. You sold my schedule to rogues. That's not dramatic. That's attempted murder with extra steps. His face paled, then hardened. I did what I had to do. For what? Revenge? Power? Your fragile ego? For the prophecy, he said, stepping closer, voice chillingly earnest. You're not supposed to be Luna. You're a mistake. Lily is the chosen one. She wanted this. You never did. Something hot and furious rushed through my chest. Was this my phoenix wolf? The air around me shimmered. Cade sensed it. His head snapped toward me, eyes widening just slightly. Mara, he murmured. Your aura. But Daniel wasn't looking at my aura. He was staring directly into my eyes like he was finally seeing something that terrified him. Your eyes, he whispered. They're glowing. Orange. I touched my cheek. Heat pulsed beneath my skin. My wolf lifted her head, no longer meek or wounded. She felt reborn. I straightened, voice steadier than it had ever been. Daniel, leave. Now. He smirked, recovering. Or what? You'll burn me? Funny he should say that. The porch light overhead flickered violently. The air crackled. A spark, literal, danced off my fingertips. I inhaled sharply. Okay, what the hell? Cade grabbed my wrist gently, grounding me. It's your phoenix, he whispered. She's waking up. My phoenix is trying to flambe my ex, I hissed. This is terrible timing. Cade stepped closer, voice low and soothing. Breathe. Don't suppress it. Guide it. I don't know how. You will. Daniel looked between us, disgust curling his lip. Wow. A freak show. A king with a savior complex and a wife who thinks she's fireproof. Cade's aura snapped outward, a silent, thunderous warning. Daniel stepped back instinctively, but he wasn't done. Mara, he sneered, you were nothing before me. I took you in when your own family didn't want you. I can take you back just as easily. Take me back? I laughed, loudly, manically. Oh, sweetheart, I said, stepping closer, heat rolling off me in waves. The next time you think about taking me back, you should also think about which hospital has the best burn unit. Daniel stiffened. You think you're better than me now? No, I said softly. I am better than you, because I survived you. For a moment, he looked absolutely stunned, like the truth had slapped him across the face. Then his expression twisted into something darker. This isn't over, he said, pointing at me. The rogues want the Luna, and if it's not Lily, his voice dropped to a chilling whisper. They'll take you. Cade's snarl cracked the night. Daniel turned and left, disappearing down the stairs with the arrogance of someone who hadn't realized he'd already dug his own grave. When he was gone, Cade exhaled slowly, tension leaving his shoulders. Mara, he said gently, you shouldn't have faced him alone, even for a second. I wasn't alone, I whispered. I had you. And, apparently, a fire hazard inside my rib cage. He stepped closer, lowering his forehead to mine. His voice dropped to a rumble that melted my bones. You are powerful and dangerous, and everything the prophecy meant. You survived hell. That makes you the strongest wolf I've ever met. I swallowed hard. Is this your version of flirting? Yes, he said without hesitation. Is it working? Unfortunately, it was. Before I could answer, Cade glanced around my pathetic apartment hallway and sighed like a man preparing to lose a battle he wasn't even fighting. You're packing a bag, he said. Right now. Cade, Mara, you almost combusted. You're not staying here. A long silence stretched. Then, I nodded. Fine, I murmured. Temporary. His lips curved. A king's victory. Small, but certain. Temporary, he agreed. A lie we both felt down to our bones. As we walked into my apartment to pack, neither of us noticed the small camera hidden behind the staircase. Blinking. Recording. Streaming my awakening to someone on the other side of the territory. Someone who whispered, "She's the one. Bring her to me." Moving into the Alpha King's estate was not on my 5-year plan.
My plan was 1. Survive divorce. 2. Learn latte art. 3. Buy a weighted blanket. Not 4. Accidentally become prophesied Luna with a built-in flamethrower soul and a king who looks at me like I hung the moon. Yet there I was, riding in Cade's SUV through the gated entrance to Rowan Estate, while my entire nervous system screamed, "This is how horror movies start." The estate rose out of the forest like money and trauma had a baby. Stone walls, glass windows reflecting the moonlight, balconies, guard posts. It was somewhere between modern fortress and this place has at least 3 secret passages and a ghost with opinions. Cade glanced at me from the driver's seat. "You're quiet." "I'm processing," I said. "This is a lot." He nodded like he actually understood. "You can still change your mind." "And go where?" I asked. "Back to my death trap apartment? Or maybe I'll move into the cafe and live off scones." "Juno would charge you rent," he pointed out. "Exactly. This is the cheaper option." He huffed a laugh. "So you're staying with me for financial reasons." "Don't flatter yourself, Your Majesty. This is strictly a budget hostage situation." His smile faded as the SUV rolled to a stop in front of the main entrance. 2 warriors opened the doors. Another grabbed my bag, which, for the record, contained 3 shirts, 2 jeans, 1 hoodie, and a plant cutting of Derek in a mug that said, "I run on caffeine and spite." "Is this all you brought?" Cade asked. "Yes, I travel light and emotionally guarded." We stepped into the foyer and I almost tripped from sheer intimidation. High ceilings, crescent moon chandelier, dark wood floors, a fireplace big enough to roast my unresolved traumas. "This is casual," I said faintly. "Super chill. We definitely don't plot wars in the study." "Most of the wars get plotted in the war room, actually," Cade said. I stared at him. He blinked, then, "That was a joke." "Oh, thank goddess. Your sense of humor finally checking in." Footsteps approached. A tall, dark-haired man with sharp cheekbones and the permanent expression of someone calculating risk appeared from a side hallway. His beta aura was unmistakable. "Majesty," he said. "You're back." His gaze slid to me, assessing. "And you brought her." "Rylan," Cade said. "This is Mara Jameson. My clerical error," I suggested. "Mate," he finished firmly. Rylan's brows rose a fraction of a millimeter. For him, that was a collapse in composure. "Well," he said, "this should be fun." "Define fun," I muttered. He gave me the once-over, not in a creepy way, in a "can this woman survive an assassination attempt" way. "Do you have any combat experience?" he asked. "I once hit Daniel with a frying pan," I offered. "Does that count?" Rylan paused, then slowly, very slowly, smiled. "I like her," he told Cade. "Get in line," Cade replied dryly. My cheeks warmed. Illegal. Cade led me up a sweeping staircase, down a hallway, and into a bedroom that could comfortably fit my entire apartment inside the closet. Soft gray walls, huge bed, windows overlooking the forest and the glitter of pack houses in the distance. "This will be your room," he said. "You have your own bathroom, a wardrobe enchantment if you need clothing, and a panic button by the bed. Press it and half the warriors will appear." "Is that reassuring or terrifying?" I asked. "Depends who you're mad at when you press it." I wandered over to the window. From up here, the territory looked peaceful. Lights, movement, families, packs living normal lives. "I used to dream about this," I admitted quietly. "Being somewhere safe." "You are safe," Cade said. "For how long?" I turned to him. The rogues won't stop. Daniel won't stop. And now I'm stuck in the center of it. His gaze softened.
You're not stuck. You're central. There's a difference. Poetic, I said. Did they teach you that in King School? His lips twitched. I know this isn't easy, he continued. You didn't ask for this, but the prophecy didn't just choose a Luna. It chose a leader who understands pain. Someone who knows what it costs to stay when everything tells you to run. That hit a little too close. So your big political strategy is, traumatized divorcee saves the kingdom? Yes. I blinked. Wow. Good to know we're all doomed. He stepped closer, voice dropping. You sell yourself short. Yeah, well, years of practice. He studied me like he was memorizing my edges. Get some rest. Tomorrow, the seer will meet us here. She'll explain more about your phoenix wolf. Great, I said. Can't wait to be told I'm even weirder than previously thought.
He started toward the door. Cade? He stopped. Yes? I hesitated. Admitting this felt like peeling off armor. I'm scared, I said, of being here, of being wrong for this, of disappointing everyone again. He turned fully and crossed back to me, slow and deliberate. His hand found my cheek again, thumb brushing away a tear I hadn't realized escaped. Listen to me, he said softly. You don't disappoint me by existing. You don't disappoint fate by surviving. You don't have to prove you deserve this bond. You already do. My throat closed. You barely know me. His gaze didn't flinch. My wolf does. Dangerous sentence. Illegally romantic. My wolf pressed right against my skin, whispering, hours, like a broken record with emotional damage. Cade stepped back, giving me space. Rest, he repeated. I'll be down the hall if you need anything. Like what, a fire extinguisher? I tried. He smirked. Among other things. Sir, criminal. He left before I could combust for entirely different reasons. I didn't sleep right away. I lay on the huge bed, staring at the ceiling mural, a painted moon surrounded by phoenixes and wolves. Fate, subtle. My mind spiraled. Daniel, rogues, Lily, my parents, the prophecy misread. Moonlight poured across the floor. My skin felt hot again. I sat up, breathing slow, focusing like Cade said. Guide it. Don't fight it. Heat gathered in my palms, not painful, warm, like standing near a campfire. Wisps of orange-gold light flickered between my fingers. Not flames, not exactly, more like truth made visible. I looked into the mirror across the room. For half a second, my reflection wasn't just me. I saw myself crowned in silver, eyes blazing orange gold, a pack gathered behind me, faces lit by my fire, not burning them, but illuminating. Strength, courage, no fear. Then I blinked and the vision vanished. Okay, I whispered to my phoenix wolf. If this is a package deal, we're going to need rules. No spontaneous combustion in bed. No setting my ex on fire unless absolutely necessary. And maybe we can burn the part of me that still believes him. Inside, my wolf purred. Deal. I lay back, finally drifting toward sleep, feeling safer than I had in years, which, naturally, meant something awful was about to happen. Miles away, in a decaying chapel just beyond the borders, Daniel stood with a group of rogues around a cracked altar. The hidden camera feed played on a tablet, showing me glowing faintly in my new room. She's awakening, the rogue leader said. Good. Bring the phoenix to us.
The king thinks fate blessed him. He has no idea we plan to use her to burn his throne to ash. Daniel smiled. This time, he said, Mara won't walk away. I woke up to sunlight, birdsong, and absolutely no peace, because the moment consciousness returned, so did the memory. I live in a castle now, a castle with guards and secrets, and an alpha king who looks at me like I'm both prophecy and dessert. My wolf stretched lazily inside me, smug as hell. Mine, she purred. Hush, I muttered aloud, rolling out of bed. We're not doing that today. We're doing survival. I showered, put on the only clean outfit I owned, and wandered downstairs in search of caffeine and a reason not to scream. The estate was strangely quiet. Too quiet. Rylan appeared at the bottom of the stairs like a horror movie butler. Good morning, Luna, he said. Don't call me that, I groaned. I'm not Luna. I'm a guest. A problem. A tax write-off. Rylan raised a brow. Your self-esteem is concerning. Join the club. He nodded toward the kitchen. Cade's waiting. We have updates. I followed him into a massive kitchen that belonged in a cooking show where contestants cry over soufflés. Cade stood by the counter, fingers wrapped around a mug like he was debating the ethics of murder before breakfast. He looked up and softened. Mara, he said, voice dropping half an octave. Did you sleep? I dreamt of setting things on fire, so yes. That's progress, he said carefully. Before I could retort, Rylan set a tablet on the counter. Your sister came to the gates at dawn, he said, demanding to see you. My stomach dropped. Lily? Why? Rylan swiped, playing the footage. There was Lily, pretty, perfect, trembling, shouting at the guards. I need to talk to my sister. Please! They said she's inside. Let me in! She looked devastated. A pang hit me, sharp and unwanted. What happened? I asked softly. She wouldn't say, Rylan answered. But the moment she left, we caught a rogue scout near the west border. Cade's expression darkened. They weren't after me. They were looking for you. My heart beat unevenly. Why Lily? I whispered. Why show up now? Before either man could answer, my phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. A photo. My blood iced. Lily, bound, gagged, in what looked like an abandoned church, a cracked altar behind her. Daniel's voice message followed. If you want her back, come alone. Midnight. You know where. My hands shook. No, I whispered. No, no, no. Cade snatched the phone, eyes flashing silver. I knew it. I knew he'd escalate. Rylan swore under his breath. He took the wrong sister. He meant to, I said, voice strangled. He wanted Lily to hurt me. Revenge. Punishment. He sees everything as my fault. Cade placed both hands on my shoulders, grounding me. Mara, look at me. I did. Big mistake. His eyes were molten with fury and something fiercer. You are not going alone, he said. This is a trap. He wants the Phoenix. I can't let Lily suffer because of me, I snapped. You didn't grow up with her. She's spoiled and dramatic and weaponized innocence like a career, but she's still my baby sister. Cade's voice softened dangerously. We're going with you. No, I said. Daniel said alone. And Daniel, Cade replied coldly, lost the right to dictate anything the moment he betrayed you. My throat tightened. This wasn't just about Lily. This was about Daniel wanting control over my story again, wanting to drag me back into the narrative where I was weak and he was superior. Not happening. My wolf's voice hummed low. Burn the lies. We need a plan, I said. Rylan crossed his arms. We can send a decoy. No, I whispered. He'll know. Then we storm the church. Rylan tried. No, Cade snapped. That puts Mara at risk. Gods. They were both arguing for different versions of saving me, and the weirdest part was, I didn't hate it. We're missing something, I said slowly. Daniel isn't smart enough to run this alone. There's someone else. Cade's jaw flexed. The rogue leader. We've picked up traces of a large faction near the old chapel ruins. They want a phoenix wolf. Rylan nodded grimly. Phoenix fire doesn't burn bodies. It burns truth. And truth can destroy political power. Cade finished. My stomach twisted. So they want me to expose you? Or the prophecy, Cade murmured. You can reveal lies, illusion, treachery, which means you're a threat to anyone hiding corruption. Lovely. Add walking lie detector to my resume. We go in together, Cade said firmly. And risk Lily dying? I shot back. He hesitated. Ha! Got him. The phoenix awoke for a reason, I said. It wants to burn something. Rylan grimaced. You're surprisingly comfortable with that. I'm caffeinated, I replied, and furious. Still, Cade said quietly, we're not using you as bait. We're not, I agreed. We're using me as a targeted distraction, much more sophisticated. Rylan pinched the bridge of his nose. This is going to give me early grays. Join the club, I repeated. We gathered in the war room, which, shockingly, was less war and more Pinterest if it loved battle maps. Candles flickered, enchanted screens shimmered, territory maps glowed with rune marks. Rylan briefed scouts, Cade issued orders. Warriors moved like disciplined shadows. And I paced. Every instinct screamed, run. Every trauma whispered, hide. Every memory reminded me who Daniel really was. Charming, manipulative, and absolutely capable of hurting Lily to get to me. But then, my palms warmed. Not heat, not fire. Truth. My phoenix wolf whispered, we burn lies. We save kin. We rise. I stopped pacing. I'm ready, I said. Cade swallowed hard. Mara, if something happens to you, nothing is happening to me, I cut in. We're getting Lily back, and we're ending Daniel's story. Rylan raised a brow. Ending as in revealing him, I said. Burning the illusions, showing everyone exactly who he is. No killing, no revenge murder, just truth. Cade stared at me with something like awe. You really are the prophecy. Great, I muttered. Do I get a discount card or something? No, he murmured, stepping closer. You get me. I almost melted. Only my wolf saved me by whispering, mate, focus, later. Cade's voice returned to king mode. We leave at 11:30. We approach silently. Mara, you enter the chapel first. Rylan and I will be behind you. If Daniel touches you, he dies. Whoa, no murders, I said. Mara, Cade said gently, if he hurts you, he can't hurt me anymore, I whispered. I won't let him. Cade exhaled slowly. If you're sure. I nodded. I'm sure. But inside, the phoenix flickered bright and hot. Hungry. Because tonight, We weren't just going after Lily. We were going after every lie ever told about me, and we were going to burn them clean.
Abandoned churches are never just abandoned churches. They're either haunted, cursed, or reserved for ex-husbands who made deals with rogues. Midnight found us at the edge of the old chapel grounds. The building loomed against the sky. Broken stained glass, cracked stone, ivy strangling its edges like the world was trying to reclaim it. Wind howled through the empty bell tower. Cade and Rylan crouched with me behind a cluster of gravestones, warriors scattered along the perimeter. Patrol wards shimmered faintly, hiding us from casual sight.
"This is a trap,"
Cade said for the 20th time. "Yes," I agreed, "which is why we came prepared. You have warriors. I have depression and a fire soul. We're good." Rylan muttered,
"I'm going to develop ulcers."
Cade caught my chin, forcing me to meet his eyes.
"Last chance," he murmured. "Say the word, and I go in alone. You stay behind me."
I huffed a laugh. I'm the prophesied Luna with a phoenix wolf. I don't think the plot lets me stay behind. His jaw clenched.
"I hate that you're right."
"For what it's worth," I added, "I hate it too." We held each other's gaze for a heartbeat longer. Then I exhaled. Time to go. The plan was simple-ish. I walk in alone. I stall. Phoenix does its truth burn thing. Cade and Rylan breach from the side entrance with warriors when I send the signal. Easy. Like open-heart surgery with glitter. I stepped out from the cover of the gravestones, boots sinking into damp earth, heartbeat thudding in my ears. The chapel door groaned as I pushed it open. Inside, it smelled like mildew, ashes, and bad intentions. Candles flickered around the cracked altar, casting long shadows. Broken pews lined the aisle. Half the roof was missing, letting moonlight pour in, painting everything in cold silver. And there, in the center, tied to a pillar, eyes wide and furious, was Lily.
"Mara," she gasped. "You idiot! Why did you come?"
"Because you texted, 'Help, I've been kidnapped,'" I said. Kind of hard to misinterpret.
"That wasn't me," she snapped. He used my phone."
A slow clap echoed from the shadows.
"Always so predictable,"
Daniel drawled, stepping into the candlelight. He looked good. I hated that I noticed. Hair styled, shirt pressed, not a single wrinkle out of place. He wore his cruelty like cologne. Rogues emerged around him, half a dozen, maybe more, lurking near the broken pews and along the walls, eyes gleaming unnaturally in the dim light. Behind them, near the altar, stood a tall figure cloaked in dark fabric. His aura crackled like static and spoiled meat. Rogue Alpha. Great.
"Hi, honey,"
Daniel said.
"Miss me?"
I smiled thinly, like food poisoning. His grin tightened.
"You always were ungrateful."
He gestured lazily, rogues closing in.
"Handy, isn't it? You come when I call, still. Some patterns don't change."
You kidnapped my sister, I said. That's not a pattern. That's escalation. Lily glared at him, tears in her eyes.
"You're insane!"
"Quiet," he snapped. I stepped between them, rage pulsing through my veins. "If you touch her," I said, "I will turn this whole building into a fondue fountain." He chuckled.
"You think your little sparks scare me? I know you, Mara. You don't burn. You break. You fold. You leave. That's what you do."
Ouch. My wolf snarled. Phoenix heat rose in my chest, climbing my throat, pooling behind my eyes. The cloaked rogue finally spoke, voice low and eerily smooth.
"Enough domestic drama. Bring her here." This is Valen, Daniel said smugly. Rogue Alpha. He's very interested in your talents. I'm flattered, I deadpanned. Unfortunately, my calendar is full of staying alive appointments. Valen's eyes flashed from under the hood. Not wolf gold, but something darker. Purple-black. Wrong. You are the Phoenix Wolf, he said. Your fire reveals truth. Imagine it unleashed on the High Council. Royal secrets exposed. Corruption burned. The kingdom thrown into chaos. And you sweeping in during the confusion, I finished. Power grab. Classic villain move. Very original. He smiled faintly. Your sarcasm will not save you. It annoys people who want to kill me, I said. That's close enough. Daniel stepped closer, casual cruelty in his posture. We're not going to kill you, Mara. We're going to use you. You'll stand beside Valen, burn away the lies he chooses, and together we'll reshape this kingdom. We? I laughed. You think he's going to share? Daniel's jaw flexed. I'll be rewarded. I brought you. I broke you in. You abused me. I cut sharply, voice ringing off the stone walls. Say it right. The room stilled. Lily's breath hitched. Daniel's face twisted. I disciplined you. You were emotional, unstable, needy. The phoenix inside me roared. Heat exploded under my skin, racing along my nerves, setting every scar on fire. No, I said, voice shaking. I was human. You were cruel. I was trusting. You were calculating. I loved you. You loved control. Candles flared. The flames turned orange gold. Valen's eyes widened. It's starting. My vision blurred, not with tears, with light. The world shifted. Layers peeled away. Suddenly, it wasn't just the chapel. It was memories, glimpses, echoes. I saw Daniel standing over me in our old kitchen, voice soft but deadly, telling me I was nothing without him. I saw him handing papers to strangers in alleyways. I saw him kneeling before Valen saying, I can deliver her. She trusts me. She'll come. Lily gasped, because she saw it too. So did the rogues. So did everyone. The phoenix fire wasn't burning bodies. It was burning illusions. Visions bloomed in the air like holograms made of light, replaying every lie he'd told, every manipulation, every secret deal. His betrayal laid bare in cruel, undeniable detail. Daniel stumbled back, pale. Stop. Turn it off. I don't think that's how trauma magic works, I said, voice echoing with something bigger than me. Valen snarled, shielding his eyes from the truth blazing around us. Control it. Direct it at the king, not at your petty ex. He's not petty, I said calmly. He's practice. The phoenix flared brighter. Another memory surfaced. Daniel speaking to my parents. She's unstable, he told them. You should distance yourselves. Lily is the future. Focus on her. My parents nodding, agreeing, letting me drift further away. Lily sobbed softly. Mara, I didn't know. I know, I whispered. You were busy being perfect. The fire shifted, no longer wild, but listening. I lifted my hand. The phoenix flame gathered at my fingertips, swirling like molten dawn. Okay, I said, voice steady now. New rule. No more lies. And then I did something no one expected. I turned that fire inward, into my own chest. The heat hit like a tidal wave, ripping through every old wound, every internalized insult, every time I believed I was nothing. Images burst around me. My younger self crying quietly in a bathroom. Daniel calling me too much. My parents comparing me to Lily. The phoenix burned them. Not the memories, those stayed, but the shame, the false belief that I deserved any of it. I straightened, and for the first time in years, I felt clean. You didn't break me, I told Daniel. You forged me. Valen snarled. Enough. Grab her. Rogues lunged. I threw my hands forward on instinct. Phoenix fire erupted in a wave, not scorching, but blinding. It crashed into the charging rogues, and suddenly their lies exploded into the air. One saw himself abandoning his mate, another selling children to labs, another poisoning a beta to take his place. They screamed, not from pain, from being exposed, from the horror of seeing their worst acts projected for all to witness. In the chaos, rogues reeling, vision swirling, Valen trying to regain control, a howl split the night. Cade. The side door crashed open, warriors flooding in. Rylan moved like a knife, cutting Lily free while Cade barreled toward me, eyes blazing with both fear and pride. Mara, he shouted. You did it. Valen roared, launching himself between us, claws outstretched, dark energy crackling. Mine, he shrieked. My phoenix snarled. Absolutely not, I said. And as Valen lunged, I grabbed his wrist. The fire inside me surged, hungry for one more lie. Time to see what the rogue leader was hiding.
Valen's wrist in my hand felt like grabbing a live wire dipped in poison. The moment our skin touched, my phoenix fire surged. Not flames, not heat, but truth. Raw, unfiltered, unavoidable. His eyes widened, pupils dilating into pits of darkness. No, he rasped. Yes, I whispered, letting the phoenix take over. Let's see what you've been hiding, sweetheart. Light burst between us in a violent explosion of gold-orange. The chapel warped, the candles bent, the air thickened into visions. A memory projected itself like a hologram carved in fire. Valen kneeling before a different Alpha King, one I recognized from old pack stories, long dead. The king reached to bless him, but Valen recoiled, because his wolf wasn't a wolf. Not fully. He shifted into something twisted. Part wolf, part shadow, part corrupted magic. The old king recoiled. Abomination, he hissed. Valen screamed, a sound of betrayal and humiliation. Cast him out, the king ordered. And just like that, Valen became rogue. The fire faded. Oh, I said, so you've always been a disaster. Valen snarled. I was rejected, exiled. I deserved a kingdom. You deserved therapy, I corrected. Another burst of fire. Valen kneeling again, but this time before Daniel, and Daniel looking desperate. I can bring her, my ex said, voice cracking. She believes in me still. She always will. Valen's eyes glinted. Bring me the phoenix. I want her power. I want to expose the entire monarchy. And you'll make me alpha? Daniel asked, pathetic hope dripping off him. Valen laughed. Laughed. You? He sneered. You're a pawn. Nothing more. Daniel swallowed the insult. Hard. Pain flickered across his face. Pride pierced. Ego bleeding. He hated being powerless more than anything. The scene dissolved. Oh, wow, I said sweetly. You got friend-zoned by a rogue leader. How embarrassing for you. Daniel's face went crimson. Shut up. Oh no,
I said. I'm not done. Truth erupted a final time. A vision of Daniel sneaking into my parents' home years ago, stealing the original prophecy scroll, bringing it to Valen, letting him smear shadow magic over one of the runes, changing a word, twisting the prophecy. Not pure of heart rebuilt from ashes, just pure. Daniel rewrote the prophecy to favor Lily. He set me up to fail. He fed my parents lies, fed the pack's lies, fed me lies. He had rewritten fate itself. When the fire faded, I stood trembling. Not from fear. From fury so clean, so ancient, my phoenix wolf prowled beneath my skin like a starved sun. Cade reached me first. He cupped my face gently.
Mara, are you hurt?
No, I whispered. Just awake. Rylan rounded on Daniel.
You manipulated a prophecy? Do you understand the magnitude of that crime?
Daniel sneered.
It wasn't a crime. It was course correction. Lily was always better. She deserved the crown.
Lily, now cut free, stormed toward him, cheeks streaked with tears and fury. You don't get to talk about me, she snapped. You never cared about me. You just used me to hurt her. Daniel's smile faltered.
And you?
Lily turned to me, chest heaving. You think I wanted this prophecy? You think I wanted to be the perfect sister? The Virgin Luna? My throat tightened. Lily, I hated it, she shouted. Every year, every ritual, every be better than Mara. I wanted to be anything else. She glared at Daniel again. You used me, she said, just like you used her. But guess what? We're done being your pawns. My baby sister, the golden girl, looked ready to bite someone. Growth. We love to see it. Cade stepped forward, voice cold as winter steel.
Daniel Gray,
he said.
For crimes of collusion with rogue factions, endangerment, kidnapping, prophecy manipulation, and attempted Luna sabotage.
Daniel spat blood on the floor.
Save your speech. You won't kill me. Mara won't let you.
He turned to me, smirk triumphant.
You never had the spine. You still don't. You're the same scared little wolf who cried when I raised my voice. You can't expose me. You can't reject me. You can't. I stepped forward and slapped him. The crack echoed like a gunshot. Daniel froze, hand to his cheek, eyes blazing with disbelief. Mara,
he whispered.
You hit me.
Yes, I said calmly, and I've been rehearsing that moment since 2019. Cade exhaled a sound that was half growl, half laugh. Rylan looked like he was engraving the moment into his memory. I leaned in, not afraid, not small, not broken. You think I won't let him kill you? I said quietly. Watch me. Daniel flinched. But I won't, I continued. Not because you don't deserve it. You do. You deserve worse. But I'm going to do something better. I stepped back, raised my voice, and let the phoenix fire hum in my veins.
Daniel Gray, I called. I strip you of every lie you ever told. Light burst. Every person in that chapel saw the truth. Every vision, every betrayal. Daniel collapsed to his knees, not from pain, from shame.
What have you done?
He whispered. Exposed you, I said. Enjoy living as the man everyone finally sees. Valen lunged at me, shrieking. Rylan slammed him into the wall. Warriors closed in, binding him with enchanted chains. Cade wrapped an arm around me, pulling me close, voice shaking with fury and relief.
You are incredible,
he breathed. I know, I said, chest heaving, and exhausted.
Let's finish this,
He murmured.
then we take this to the council.
I looked around the ruined chapel, rogues bound, Lily safe, Daniel crumbling in the corner, and felt something settle inside me. Not peace, purpose. Let's go burn the throne room, I whispered. Cade's answering smile was full alpha, full mate, full mine.
Together,
He said. Together, I echoed, and the phoenix inside me purred like a star waking up. If you've never marched into the High Council chamber with a bound rogue king, your disgraced ex-husband, and a baby phoenix wolf soul humming in your chest, I highly recommend it for character development, less so for blood pressure. The council chamber was carved into the heart of an ancient stone hall, high vaulted ceiling, banners of every allied pack, crescent moon symbols glinting from polished metal. Elders sat in a half circle of elevated seats, each looking like they'd been born frowning. The moment Cade strode in, the room rose in a rustle of fabric and fear. Behind him, Rylan with Valen shackled in enchanted chains, 2 warriors dragging Daniel, Lily at my side, head high, chin trembling, and me, Mara Jameson, divorced, mildly bitter, accidentally divine.
Mara,
Cade murmured, leaning toward me as we approached the center.
last chance. If you don't want to show them,
I do, I said, surprising myself with how steady I sounded. They've ruled from shadows long enough. Let's turn the lights on. He looked at me like I'd just rearranged his constellations. We stopped in the circular spotlight at the center of the chamber. Magic hummed beneath the floor, an ancient truth circle. No lies could be spoken here without consequence, which would have been great information for Daniel about 5 years ago. The head counselor, a silver-haired woman named Alara, stared down at us, eyes like polished ice.
Your Majesty,
She said,
you arrive unannounced with rogues, a sedated traitor, and your claimed Luna.
The pause on claimed was a little too pointed.
Correct,
Cade said.
you're welcome.
Soft murmurs rippled around the chamber. Alara's gaze slid to me, weighing.
Mara Jameson, divorced from Alpha Daniel Gray, previously considered unfit for Luna status, and yet prophecy now names you the king's true match. Do you know what you're doing here?
Yes, I said. I'm here to fix your clerical error. A few counselors choked. Cade's lips twitched like he wanted to smuggle me out purely to laugh properly.
Explain,
Alara said sharply. I took a breath. My ex-husband and this delightful rodent, I gestured to Valen, who hissed, tampered with the prophecy years ago. They altered the rune so it read pure instead of heart rebuilt from ashes. They also colluded with rogues, nearly destabilized the claiming ritual, and tried to use me as a weapon against the throne. Another rustle of shock. Daniel laughed weakly.
You're going to take her word for it? She's unstable.
Buddy, I said sweetly, we brought receipts. Rylan stepped forward, placing a crystal orb on the pedestal in front of Alara.
We captured Phoenix-evoked memories at the chapel, verifiable soul impressions. You can view them.
Several counselors eyed the orb like it might bite. Alara nodded once.
Proceed.
Cade looked at me.
You ready?
His eyes asked. No, I replied silently, but I stepped forward anyway. Standing in the truth circle felt like stepping into a tide. The air lapped at my ankles, rising, hungry. My phoenix wolf stretched, delighted. I lifted my hands, palms up, and let the fire rise. Warmth built in my chest. Not painful, just insistent. It flowed down my arms, pooled in my fingers, and leapt into the orb like a stream of molten light. The chamber dimmed, then filled with visions. The council watched as fire-built images flickered through the air, Daniel stealing the scroll, Valen smearing shadow magic over the rune, the symbol twisting, rebuilt from ashes, warped to pure. Gasps. One counselor swore under her breath. Alara's face went white as bone. "The original wording," she whispered. "We never saw this version." "Because they didn't want you to," I said softly. "They wanted Lily to be the only candidate. They wanted me small, invisible, discarded." The vision shifted.
More images. Daniel passing intel to Valen. Maps, patrol routes, security gaps, rogues slipping through cracks by design. Months of sabotage, Rylan said quietly. Not coincidence. Intent. The magic hesitated, as if asking if I was sure. Then it showed. Daniel belittling me behind closed doors. Smiles in public, threats in private. The subtle erosion of confidence. Me folding in on myself, apologizing for existing. The silence in the chamber turned heavy, ugly. Daniel tried to bluster. These memories could be fabricated. He choked on the lie as the truth circle seized him. He staggered, clutching his throat, eyes bulging. The magic didn't let him speak again. "I think we're good," I said. "I don't need my abuser's commentary, thanks." Elara pressed shaking fingers to her lips. Enough. The orb dimmed, the illusions faded. I let the phoenix sink back, my skin cooling, my wolf exhausted but purring. "This is an outrage," one counselor snapped. "Tampering with prophecy? Aligning with rogues? Endangering a prophesied Luna?" "It gets worse," Cade said calmly. Of course it did. He stepped forward, king aura blazing. "Daniel Gray attempted to weaponize the Phoenix Wolf against the monarchy. Valen sought to use her fire to expose only the truths that benefited him, not justice. Control. Chaos." The counselors looked between Cade and me like they were seeing us both for the first time. Elara straightened, crown braid gleaming in the dim light. "What do you propose, Your Majesty?" Cade glanced at me. I swallowed. Here it was, the choice. Run from power like I always had, or step into it, scars and all. "My fire doesn't belong to kings," I said slowly, "or rogues, or councils. It belongs to the people who've been lied to, manipulated, broken." My gaze swept the chamber. "I won't be your weapon. I will be your mirror." A hush fell. "If you want me as Luna," I continued, "then you're accepting a Phoenix Queen. A Luna whose power is to expose, to rebuild, to protect abused mates, ignored wolves, and anyone the system conveniently overlooks." I thought about every woman I'd seen cry into her latte at Moonbrew because her mate dismissed her. Every wolf who felt less than because they didn't fit a prophecy mold. "I want sanctuary laws," I said. "Legal reforms for mates leaving abusive bonds. Resources, not exile. I want accountability for leaders who hide behind tradition to excuse cruelty." The words shocked even me, but once they began, they didn't stop. "And I want the original prophecy restored publicly," I added. "No more Virgin Luna nonsense. No more purity-based power. The future queen is defined by resilience, not chastity." Somewhere in the back, someone whispered, "Finally." Elara studied me for a long, quiet moment. "Mara Jameson," she said at last, "you understand that by binding yourself to the throne, you also invite your own truth to be known." "I just showed you my worst moments," I replied. "If I can survive that, I can survive the rest." Elara rose to her feet, and the chamber followed. "Let the record show,"
she declared, voice ringing, that the prophecy was corrupted by external interference. The true text names a heart rebuilt from ashes, and we have seen that heart today. She looked down at me. At great personal cost, you exposed not only the crimes committed against you, but your own vulnerability. That is the mark of a Luna worthy of a crown. My lungs forgot how to function. So, I said faintly, is that a yes, or... Elara's mouth twitched. As head counselor, I endorse the bond between Alpha King Cade Rowan and Phoenix Wolf Mara Jameson. May your reign burn away all that festers in shadow. Cade's exhale shuddered. His hand found mine. Consent matters, he whispered, too low for anyone but me to hear. Even now, especially now. Do you want this? Do you want me? Gods, of all the times to be sincere. I looked at him, truly looked, at the man who had dragged me into chaos but shielded me from its worst blows, the king who offered to delay a claiming ritual from my comfort, the alpha who said my choices were sacred, the mate whose wolf had recognized mine before I even believed I was worth claiming. I don't want your crown, I said softly. I want you, and the chance to make this mess mean something. His eyes went bright, dangerously bright. Mara Jameson, he said, voice reverent in a way that made the Alpha King sound secondary. Be my Luna. Stand at my side. Burn truth through every lie that touches this throne. My heart, duct-taped, cracked, stubborn, made a decision. Yes, I breathed, on one condition. His brows lifted. Name it. Sanctuary and reform, I said, for abused mates, for anyone used and discarded the way I was. My crown comes with clauses. His lips curved. I accept all your clauses, he murmured, especially the part where you stay. He pulled me closer, his aura wrapping around me like warm night. In the center of the council chamber, under a ceiling that had watched centuries of cold political pledges, Cade lowered his forehead to mine. A hush fell over the room as our wolves rose, silver and orange gold, intertwined in energy and light. When his lips brushed mine, soft at first, then deepening with a promise that tasted like fresh fire and second chances, the bond snapped into place. Not a shackle, a tether, anchoring me not to him, but to myself. Phoenix wings unfurled inside me, luminous and fierce. The council's magic flared, acknowledging the bond. Lily sniffled somewhere behind us. Finally, she whispered. About time someone rewrote this stupid story. I smiled against Cade's mouth. For once, I agreed. The prophecy wasn't about a virgin Luna. It was about a divorced, mildly bitter, emotionally rebuilt disaster who chose to love again anyway. 3 months later, I stood on the balcony of Rowan Estate, my home, with the morning sun warming my skin and the scent of pine drifting through the air. Funny how life works. One day you're a barista dodging HOA wolves and trauma. The next, you're Luna Queen of a kingdom built on ancient rites and modern real estate. And honestly, I was thriving. Not gracefully, more like a gremlin with responsibilities, but thriving nonetheless. Our first decree, my decree, passed unanimously. The Luna Sanctuary Protocol. Legal protections for wolves leaving abusive mates. Emergency housing. Pack-neutral counselors, financial independence rights. The packs grumbled at first. Old alphas muttered about tradition and loyalty oaths. I simply smiled, lifted my phoenix-lit hand, and said, "Would you like your secrets exposed too?" Shockingly, the reforms passed overnight. Turns out no one negotiates harder than a woman whose wolf can burn illusions off the bone. Lily moved into the Beta Village, refusing any Luna-adjacent responsibilities. "I'm done being perfect," she announced, cutting her hair short and dyeing the ends silver. "If anyone calls me pure again, I'm biting them." She also found herself a mate, a beta warrior named Milo, who loved her stubborn streak and once picked a fight with a vending machine on her behalf. They were disgusting. And cute, but mostly disgusting. "I don't need a crown," she told me one night while stealing fries from my plate. "I need someone who won't flinch when I ugly cry." Growth. We stan. Daniel wasn't executed. Not because he didn't deserve the dramatic villain death, but because death would have let him keep his illusions. No, he got something far worse. Truth-bound exile. A rune carved into his wrist, courtesy of Phoenix Justice, forced him to speak only truth. No manipulation, no gaslighting, no charm. He tried lying once. The magic punched him in the throat. Last we heard, he joined a monastery in the mountains, crocheting emotional support scarves for penance. A fitting end for a man who never said an honest word in his life. Valen, the rogue leader, sat in a magically enforced prison. Not tortured, not harmed, just forced to confront himself. His cell contained nothing but reflective obsidian walls. Every lie he ever told hovered like smoke around him, replaying in endless loops. Sometimes justice isn't fire, it's reflection, and he hated every second of it. My wolf didn't roar anymore. She glowed. Some nights, when the moon hung low and the pack slept safe, I walked the forest paths alone, letting the phoenix fire flicker across my palms in soft waves, not burning, not cleansing, just being. Truth wasn't a weapon anymore. It was a lantern. I finally understood the prophecy. A heart rebuilt from ashes. Those ashes weren't symbols of destruction. They were the remains of a life I outgrew, a cage I burned open, a version of myself that survived long enough to become something else. My wolf whispered to me often now, not commands, not warnings, just peace. Finally. Cade found me on the balcony that morning, barefoot, wearing his oversized shirt, holding a mug that said, "Queen of Clerical Errors." His arms slipped around my waist from behind, chin resting on my shoulder. "You're up early," he murmured, voice still sleep-rough. Couldn't sleep. The sun was yelling at me. He chuckled, lips brushing my temple. "Your reforms are already changing things. Packs talk about it constantly." "They gossip about everything constantly," I corrected. "Yesterday, someone started a rumor that I use phoenix fire to toast marshmallows." "Do you not?" "Cade." He smirked, then sobered. His hands tightened at my waist.
"Mara," he said softly, "you've changed more than the kingdom. You changed me."
I turned in his arms. "Good," I said. "I like you better when you're emotionally available and less terrifying." He dipped his head, forehead touching mine, breath warm.
"You saved this kingdom,"
he whispered. "We saved it," I corrected, with some accidental arson. His lips brushed mine, slow, reverent, claiming without caging. My wolf melted. My phoenix hummed. My heart just existed. Whole, not broken, not rebuilt by someone else, built by me. When the kiss deepened, the bond between us glowed, silver and gold twining like moonlight and sunrise.
Luna,
he murmured against my lips. King, I whispered back, tugging him closer. I used to think surviving made me weak. Now I know the truth. Survival is evolution. Resilience is prophecy. And sometimes the strongest thing a wolf can do is rise again. Not because fate demanded it, but because she chose to. I was never the virgin Luna. I was the phoenix Luna. And honestly, it fits. If you ever felt underestimated, mislabeled, or told you weren't enough, remember my story. Remember the ashes I rose from. And if this story lit even a spark in you, hit subscribe, share this with your pack, and let Lady Fate know you're ready for your next chapter. Because some hearts aren't born strong. They're forged. And forged hearts, they burn brightest.